lads and lasses, and welcome to Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave. What we're going to talk about today is tuning your darts up.
Dad, Dynamite Dave's on. Can we watch it? It's on YouTube. Ah, go on then, but only if you've done your homework. Audrey, get us a beer out the fridge. I don't half enjoy this. Come on, let's get it on. Are you ready, son? 180!
Right, what we're going to talk about today is darts tune-up. You can buy kits, they're around the £10 mark, anything from 10-15 quid for a tune-up kit. These can be really good and really advantageous, especially if your darts fly in a strange manner, because sometimes it might not be you, it might actually be the balance of the darts. Right, here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at these darts now, and we're going to have a look at the way that the flights and stems affect the way that they fly. Right, here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at these darts now, and we're going to have a look at the way that the flights and stems affect the way that they fly. Now what we've got here is we've got the standard BVD steadies, which have come to me last week. Nice dart, pretty neutrally weighted, slightly forward I would say, slightly forward weighted. But when they came as normal with the normal flight setup, they did a lot of moving about in the air for me. And the reason for that is, as you can see, if we sit these together and we put the collar on the actual line that goes up here, we can see that the BVD setup that came with the darts is a fair bit longer than the standard. They're a fair bit longer than the click system that I use. These are more of a standard length of shaft and flight. You can get long, which are long, and you can get shorter, which is medium, which is what this is, and then you can get middies, which are between a short and a medium, and then you can get short, and obviously you can get super short ones as well. I'm going to put the setup next to the BV, next to this steady, and these are some Q-Sol flat darts, but these actually give you an idea of the difference, the massive difference between your shaft and your flight combinations. As the dart leaves your hand, if it goes up in this direction, there is a lot more air pressure coming across here pushing it down. As it goes that way, you'll have more air pressure on that side pushing it up until it actually evens itself out, and then your dart will fly in a straight line. So if you actually fired a dart out of a gun, within 20 or 30 yards it would actually be absolutely rock solid, the same as a bullet. So it would just go along in a straight line and it would just impact the target, and when it impacted the target it should be, by rights, perfectly horizontal. So why do we make the darts shorter and longer? For the simple reason is, as we throw the dart, if you've got quite a swing on the dart as you let go of it, if you have a long shaft and a big flight, it's going to make it so as your darts wiggle all over the place. Whereas if you go to the other extreme, which is a very short stem and a very small flight, the actual shaft and flight will not have enough effect on the dart to make it straighten out to a reasonable amount, so it'll actually stick in the board. So it's a balancing act, and that's why they call it a tune-up kit. About air pressure. So it all depends on how that dart leaves your hand and how much air pressure you need, because the reason why you have to balance it is, if you've got a long shaft and a big flight, that imparts more air pressure. As you let go of the dart is going to have more force put on it as it comes out of your hand to go one way and the other. Because as you throw the dart, as it's travelling through the air is still. So it's the same effect as you holding the dart still and a wind blowing across your dart. If you had a wind blowing across your dart and you lifted the dart up like this, it would put more pressure on where the wing is, because that's what it's all about. Exactly the same as a plane. It's all about air force on the wing, and that's what your actual dart flight is. It's a wing, a rear wing for your dart. As the air is travelling across your dart, as the dart swings up, air pressure will be put on this side of the dart, and it's like a pendulum. Instead of it going and then just going straight, that's not going to happen. And it'll just rock backwards and forwards in the air until that air pressure has evened itself out. And that can be 2-3 times up and down in the air. And quite a lot of the times it's way too many times for it to go up and down before it actually gets to the board. The other end of the scale is if your dart flight is too small, when you throw it, it won't exert enough air pressure to even the dart out, and it will tumble. So basically what will happen is it'll come out of your hand, and as it goes up like this, because you've got a much smaller wing on the back of it, the actual wing will not impart enough force to fetch the front of the dart back up again. And then what happens is you end up with your darts actually sticking in the board like this or over here, and that can be a big problem. Right, so how do you set these up to suit yourself? The best thing that you can do, if you haven't done it already, is go and buy yourself a tune-up kit, a nice fresh brand new tune-up kit. Because normally what we normally do is we'll get a tune-up kit, we'll tune a set of darts up, and instead of going and buying those shafts and flights that you want, you'll use the ones out of the kit. And then when you get a new set of darts, those have gone, so you can't use them again then. All you're doing is you're using that tune-up kit as like what we call in engineering a datum. So in other words, like a standard. So then what you can do is you can use that tune-up kit time and time again to get you to where you need to be, and then you've got two choices. Or I see that you've got two choices. You can do whatever you want, but what I would do personally was if I wanted to use the shafts and flights out of the kit, I would go out and buy the same and put them back in the kit. Because then when you come to get a new set of darts, you've got to do it all over again, because your new set of darts more than likely ain't going to be exactly the same as your old ones. So don't forget, as you're using those your tune-up kit, make sure that you put it back. Don't forget as well, if you want to do it on the cheap, you can always make your own tune-up kit up. And all you've got to do is go and buy each different length of shaft. So you're going to need ultra short, or what they call tight teenies, or whatever they call them. They can call them all sorts of things. You've got your middies, which are between, you've got your short, then you've got your middies, which are between short and medium. You've got your mediums, and then you've got your longs. So what I would do is I would buy one of each of them in standard, one of each of them in slim. So a set of each. So if you do it, you're gonna end up with something that's the same as a tune-up kit anyway. And then what you want is a standard set of flights, an intermediate set of flights, a pear-shaped set of flights, and some of the tiny flights. And then what you can do is you can make a total mix-up and combination. You can, first of all, what I tend to do is I'll get one dart set up, and what I'll do is I'll change that one dart about. I'll start off with a long a long stem and a big flight, and work my way through them. So I'll get a shorter and shorter stem, see if that works, go back to a long stem, put a smaller flight on it, come down, down, down till you get onto the shortest one. And don't forget, don't have one throw. Don't have like one visit with one dart. Have a good 15 to 20 darts. I know it's a bit of a march backwards and forwards and what have you, but it'll be well worth it in the end, until your arm actually gets used to that flight shaft combination, and you're actually seeing, you can see that the true way that it flies. Because same with a brand new set of darts, you pick them up and you're trying really hard. So just try and do your normal throw, and that's the only way that you're actually going to get this to work. And that's the way that you're going to get your best results. Right, so hope you've enjoyed watching Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave. This has just been a little foray into it. So don't forget, if you want to tune your darts up, go and get yourself a tune-up kit, or make yourself a tune-up kit. Make sure that you've got all the bits ready on your windowsill or whatever before you start, and then do it methodically. Whatever you do, don't go, oh, I'll try this with that and I'll try that with that. You've got to do it methodically, and you've got to try each and every combination, because you could try a certain combination and it might work for you, but there might be another combination out there that will work even better for you. So it's always worth going through all the combinations to find out which is best. The way to do it is the same as with everything, or the way that I would do something, like when I'm going to buy a car or a motorbike or anything. What I'll do is I'll start off with a list of ones that I like the look of, and then what I'll do is I'll probably discard two. So one at one end, one at the other, discard those two, and then what I'll do is I'll start looking at fuel economy, this, that and the other, power, all this, that. So it starts off the way that it looks, and then what I'll do is I'll fetch the list down and down and down until I've got 3. Then I've got 3 to choose from. Those are like my 3 favourites, and then what I'll do is I'll do a pros and cons out of each one, and it's the same with the flights. Do the pros and cons out of each one, and then what you'll do is you'll end up with the best balance. So we've come up into the studio now. What I'm going to try and do is demonstrate the different effects that a different length of shaft and a different flight will have on the dart. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to set up these same darts. These are the BVD Veracities, which are the ones that I use nearly all the time now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these up with some totally different shafts and flights on them. And hopefully you will be able to see the difference in the way that it affects the actual darts themselves. Right, so what we've chosen is, just to give a little bit of a demonstration, is we've got the standard Veracity with the standard flight on it and my short shaft. So these are short shafts with a standard flight on. Then we've got medium stroke long shafts with a standard flight on. So we've got the 2 ends of the scale there, and then we've got a long shaft with a small pear-shaped flight on it. And hopefully we'll be able to see the difference in the way that these darts fly. Like that, I throw them, they come out totally the same. Thanks for watching this short video on how to tune your darts up, and don't forget, lads and lasses, to help the channel, if that's what you want to do, it's £2 down here, PayPal me, have a go in the raffle for me. So if you want to help the channel, if you fancy a really top line set of darts or some equipment, you can choose a board. If you win first prize and you say to me, Dave, can you get me a dart board? Dave, can you get me a dart shirt? Dave, can you do this? I'll do whatever I can for you. So it really is worth putting that £2 down here, PayPal me. £10 or more, entirely up to yourself. £10 or more doubles your chances. So if you put 10 quid in, if you put a tenner in, you'll get 10 tickets. If you put 4 quid in, you'll get 2 tickets. If you put 8 quid in, you'll get 4 tickets. So it's well worth it. It doubles your chances. £10 or more doubles your chances. So thanks for watching Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave. I'm hoping 1 or 2 of you out there will be able to help me along. And don't forget, you'll only ever get out of this game what you're prepared to put in. And always, lads and lasses, toe to the hockey!